And it's about the Marines. I mean, it's about a lot of fun things today. All right. Well, in perfect fashion in this room, it's 4 o'clock on that clock and 2:58 on that clock. And I think it's like 3:01 on my phone. So somewhere it should be the right time for us to start. Thank you, David May, who can reach all the way up to the clock to change that. That was impressive, sir. Thank you. That's very nice, Mr. May. Who said these campus meetings aren't fun, right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I'm Kirsten Cohn. As the executive director here, I love this monthly meeting as a way to exchange information. We have a couple of department updates, and then obviously we'll be doing kind of our semi-annual business review, which I know, as we were saying too, finance is fun. So we are going to do that. Dave, did you hear that? K-Dog? Fun dance instead of finance. Fun dance, I like it. All right, so the first part of what we always like to kick things off with is in our welcome. Oops, so I cannot go back or front. Look at me. Jacob, I didn't even follow directions. I double-clicked twice. Look at him, he's like, goodness, Kirsten. And I'm trying to use my new screen. All right. There we go. So as tradition, we always think community is circular, and we love to start with welcoming any new residents who are here with us for the first time. And I'm also going to add, when we're done with that, I'm going to welcome a new team member as well. So we'll start with, do we have any new residents with us for the first time who are brave enough to raise their hand? This is when we get to, so no new folks. Well, that was a great segue to why we're also not going to have new resident orientation on November 26th. So as you can see, it's very hard to welcome maybe sometimes just one or two folks. And so we're going to go and cancel November's new orientation as well as December's and get that started back up at the first of the year. That allows us to really welcome new people together. As always, if you have questions, you can come see Resident Services. We have a great orientation book, but we want to share that. I sent out a written communication, but I wanted the chance to introduce Levi McCracken. So I'm going to have Levi come up, and he is my new administrative executive assistant, and I'm so excited.
Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me? Perfect. Nice to meet y'all. I've been here about 2 weeks, and y'all have been so friendly and welcoming. I've already met several of you. I'm excited to get to meet those of you I've not. For those of you I've not met, my name is Levi McCracken. I'm going to be serving as Kirsten's executive assistant in this new role. I'm excited to get to work with y'all one-on-one, address any of your concerns you might have, and support different institutional initiatives as they come up. But if y'all want to talk anything Carolina basketball related, I am an alumni. Happy to chat about that. And I'm also, I forgive you, ma'am. It's okay. And also a proud Western NC native. So also happy to give any recommendations around the area. But thank y'all very much for the kind welcome. So.
My funny little story about Levi's not even been here. Today is 2 weeks, and 3 days in, he produced a beautiful spreadsheet with prioritization, status of objects, things when they were due, already holding me accountable to what was late on time. I was like, this was going to be a beautiful partnership. So I am just thrilled to have Levi work together with myself. If you're looking for him, he's across the hall from me. So also, again, have an opportunity to come join the administrative office. Other thing that's not on here, just a brief comment. I have received some communication and questions from some folks about those that are following the news about knowing that ICE was in North Carolina and was that concerning, and appreciate your concerns for our staff and how to keep our campus safe. And I just wanted to provide you with just reassurance that, one, we are an E-Verify employer, right? So what that means is all of our team members verify to work in the United States. That's a process we've always been compliant with and continue to be. We also have a compliance policy related to search warrants and regular policies if someone was to come on our campus for a variety of reasons. And so we are trained to know how to respond appropriately. And if we did have visitors come, Chad, myself, and Bailey are the first 3 and only 3 on this campus that would be responding. And then it would go to our partnership with those up at Givens Communities in terms of our executives up there. So I just wanted you to know our team, we feel comfortable and prepared. If for some reason we had activity in this area, but I did appreciate folks reaching out and wanting to know what our team members could do. So we've shared that information, and I think, as always, it's most important to keep you safe and to keep our residents safe. So we'll continue to do that. That's what makes our community very special. I'm going to have Brenda come on up. The other part of our campus is we love to honor those that have passed.
Let us take a moment as we remember our neighbors and family and friends who have died in the last month. Lelia Graham, Diane Smith, Charlotte Berry, Marion Reese, Joyce Coates, and Fern Gargano. Let us take a moment. We picture faces when we read these names. We share memories of the vitality of each and every one of these people and the role that they have played in our community and in the larger world. And we are grateful. Thank you.
I forgot who's next. All right, we're going to have Josh come up, and I'm looking for him. That means he may be addressing something. So I will start until he gets to join us. So one of the things that Josh wanted to make sure that he shared with resident services is that I always try to, you like to know who reports where and who gets to be involved. We are thrilled to kind of actually have our full build out of this department, which has, starting at the far end, right, we have Mike, who's our chauffeur, and Matt, who is the administrative assistant. Matt has also transitioned from part-time to full-time, and so that has just been a wonderful department. Josh, you can come on up if you want. And now we have, as of today, even our team lead position. So I know that we have all the folks that need to, it's okay, we're going to pivot, that's what we do. We actually have a full resident services department. So Josh is going to be celebrating 1 year in January, and he has been a very busy man in this department. So the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. As Kirsten was saying, we're very happy to have the additions to resident services this year. One of the things I'm really proud of too is we've added new positions based on the feedback that I've had people come into my office and say, "Gosh, I really wish we had somebody that could help me with XYZ. So that nurse navigator position, Melissa, was added this year. She's been a phenomenal addition to the group, and I really value what she brings to the team through that nursing lens to coincide with our social work team and, of course, our chaplain team as well, to really build out like a true holistic team that is available for the residents. You all want to come on up? Look at this amazing group of folks. I'm so proud of them. So I do want each one of you to come up, just say who you are, what you do, and maybe something that you specialize in, or something, from your past which you have experience with, or a fun fact. Your choice. Matt?
Yes, I'm not fond of public speaking. My name's Matt Howe. I am Josh's administrative assistant for resident services. That means I support the chaplains, the social workers, Mike. And I've worked here a little over a year. And a fun fact is, I have a website and I wrote a book about Barbra Streisand.
And I will say I've looked at the book and it's phenomenal. Like, you need to get this book and look at it. It is really good.
The check is in the mail.
I'm Brenda Lewis. I'm the Director of Spiritual Care, and we are chaplains for everyone, not just people of particular backgrounds or religious affiliations. I had something in my head and then it left. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's gone.
One of the best senses of humor I can think of on TV.
Yeah. So sense of humor, not so good on memory, but yes.
Hello, I'm Kelly Mullenix, and I am the Spiritual Care Associate or Chaplain. I work with Brenda and this amazing team. A fun fact about me is I am a former Miss Asheville.
I feel as if I should have bought a bunch of roses or something. She also has a phenomenal singing voice.
I'm Lisa Norton, and I'm the nurse navigator for Independent Living. I've been a nurse for 15 years, and a fun fact about me is I turned 50 years old this year. And I'm a Scorpio. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Jen Cortez. I'm one of the social work navigators. I have just completed my 90 days, or will tomorrow, actually. And so something a little about my background or my specialty is that I was a clinician, a therapist for many years with a specialty in family therapy. So.
Hi, I'm Angela Ramsey. I'm one of the social workers here, and I can't think of a fun fact, but the team says that I have the best memory of movie quotes, so that's what I'm known for.
Hello, I'm Caitlin Smith. I'm the social work navigator at the health center. I started here in May of this year. I came from the VA. I worked there for about 18 months and decided to come here, so I'm happy to be here. Fun fact about me is I have a 3-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter, so thanks.
So that means she stays very busy.
I'm Mike, the chauffeur. I'm in my 9th year as of this month here at Gibbons Estates. In fact, I've got 5 kids and 5 grandkids, and I also host the Open Art Studio on Thursdays at 10 o'clock in the art room as well. Thanks.
If you all have never seen any of the art that Mike has done, I highly recommend you get in touch with him and look at some of the stuff. His talent is insane.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jane Robinson, and today is my first day. So I'm yay! So I never thought I would share this on my first day, but I'm kind of a copycat. I was a little Miss Asheville, and I used to sing, and I haven't been singing about 20 years. So this weekend, I'm going to try with a band, so wish me luck. So, all right, thank you.
Again, an amazing team that I'm so lucky to work with day in and day out, really supporting and collaborating with residents all the time. And the good thing is about our department, I think one of my favorite things is there is never 2 days alike. True statement. Okay, thank you all. So this here, it was posted today on the app under social services. This just gives everybody a quick snapshot of the coverage areas for social workers. In the red is Angela Ramsey. That's the areas that she's currently covering. And the blue is Jen Cortez in those areas. So if you're wondering, oh, which social worker do I need to contact about something? You can go directly onto the app under social services and find this information. When I have an update for this, I will update it on the app and also release communication about that. Jane, our new team lead, she has started as her first day today. Her concentration for her training starting out is going to be in health services. So for now, this map is going to remain the way it is, and when there's a change, I'll let y'all know, but she'll be focusing up in the health center and on Wood Assisted Living for the beginning portion of her training. Here, I just wanted to, our group, it's hard. Many other groups come up here and they have, quantifiable data to give to you. Ours is really hard to measure because we're the human group. And so those are hard things to measure. But I did want to show a little bit of where we're involved in the community, how we support. So this just gives an example here of some of the support groups and committee support for some of the members on our team. And some spiritual care groups, events, and committees, how our spiritual care is involved, some of the things they've involved with this year. This is kind of a look back to this current year as to the things that we've been involved with. The second annual ice cream social, that's always a big one. Everybody enjoys ice cream, myself included. And as a department, some of the things that are on here as far as the offerings, the resources, this has all been some of this year's work as well. I've had many individuals come in and asking about access to therapy and counseling, individual and group. So we've recently come in contact with some folks through Healing Hearts that offers currently a group that's in session right now and also some individual therapy as well. One thing that I think is also a big project this year is through Western Carolina University. Very much so an intergenerational relationship and partnership that's been established, resident led through the workshops that have been done. But then our department also supports Western Carolina University nursing for their normal clinical rotations, going to different sites like Health Center and Wood Assisted Living and to some folks in independent living as well, and have been very much so involved in our community, even as far back as during Helene, they were here, and they've been very present, and I hope continue to be so as well. And also noticing that from that resident workshop, those boards that are up in our foyer area, those students made, and they sent me those digital copies, and we put them up for everybody to view. And I think there's a lot of great information on there. Shows the work that they've been doing in our community and the collaboration. It's been wonderful. Did it go backwards? Yep, there we go. And then coming forward into next year, starting to make some plans a little bit. We're not getting too over eager to lay too hard into it, but we want to definitely have something we're looking forward to. So one of the things the social work group is putting together is bringing in 4 seasons to really give a good overview of what palliative care means, what it does, how it can help us throughout our course of our lives. And then holy days and holidays for different traditions, the Spring Music Festival, and apparently a 3rd annual ice cream social. So looking forward to that. That is pretty much it for me, except for I do want to say that we are planning also on having one more health services social work navigator join our team. I did have somebody over the weekend apply that I'm really hoping I can get sat down and talk to so we can get one more hired up there. And then once we get to that point, we're going to have scheduled days on wood assisted living, Tuesday, Thursday, something of that nature, to where if there's any needs that arise, there's somebody there in person that people can go to and talk with. So that will be coming very soon. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Snyder and I am your Life Enrichment Director. Want to tell you a little bit about some of the interesting things that we have coming up, but before I do that, I would like to say a happy 250th birthday wishes to the Marines. So just a warm round of applause for any Marines in the house. We have a nice cake in the back, and so we want to make sure that we are remembering them today. Some of the events that we have coming up in December will be, well, the first thing I have to mention is the art sale on December 3rd. I would be remiss if I didn't encourage everyone to come down to the Williams Center and take a look at some of the wares that our 30-plus residents will be they will be on display here in the Williams Center for you to purchase. It'll be a good time to pick up a Christmas present if you want to, but looking forward to seeing everybody come down for that. We have the winter lights at the Arboretum on the 4th. We'll be going to that. We have a Globe Treks event a trip going to Helen, Georgia on the 10th. We have the holiday sales market at the Folk Art Center on December 13th, the Nutcracker at the Diana Wortham Theater on the 14th, and then the Christmas social that Life Enrichment and Dining will be producing. That occurs on the 16th. That will be in the Williams Center and then also in the dining room. We are going to have the Smoky Mountain Brass Band performing, and that performance will start at 7, but we will have food and beverage provided a little bit earlier in the evening. More details about that when we get closer to the event. Want to tell you a little bit about some of the new offerings that we have coming up. You might have seen that we are trying to push out some different things. Some we're trying, not everything's going to work, but we're going to try some new stuff. One of the things that we're doing is the new aquatic fitness class, Fridays at 3 o'clock. Anybody taking part of that right now? Anybody? Okay, get down there, Fridays at 3 o'clock, out the aquatic fitness class. I hear it's supposed to be great. The new offerings that we're going to be having, Judy Ott is a resident on Cokesbury Lane. She is certified as a instructor for groove dance, and she is offered to bring her talents here and provide that same experience to residents. So starting in December, she's going to start teaching. Well, she teaches a class at the YMCA already, so she's going to teach this groove dance class here for residents. So we're looking forward to that. You'll see a video coming out and some literature to try to promote the class. I think this is a really neat experience where we have a resident acting as the instructor to teach other residents. If you haven't had a chance yet to meet Judy, come down, pop into one of her classes when they get advertised, and try it out. The other thing I'm excited to tell you about is we have a new shiatsu massage provider who will be coming onto campus starting in December. Her name is Suzanne Pazandek. And so we actually were able to get a couple of residents to try out her services, and we got really good feedback about that. So we're excited to offer her services. And if you don't know what shiatsu is, like I didn't know what shiatsu was, it's just a softer type of therapeutic massage. You can keep your clothes on. If you are more modest, that might be something that might appeal to you. But we're really looking forward to Suzanne. Again, will send out something in the Gazette and more information about her services. And then lastly, I want to tell you about 2 resident interest groups I'm trying to get off the ground. One is an auto enthusiast interest group, so trying to get some traction on that. You'll see, probably I'm going to send out a message asking for anyone that might be interested to let us know as we kind of start to pull this group together. And then the other is ham radio operators. So I know I have a small list of ham radio operators on campus right now, but if you are a ham radio operator, reach out to me, let me know so I can make sure that you're included in that. If you're not an operator, but you have an interest in it, this might be a way to kind of dip your toe in to come and meet with this group and see if there's an interest there. Just as a little point of note, ham radio operators are actually a part of our emergency preparedness system. So we use ham radio operators in situations where we might not have normal communications. So they're actually a part of our emergency management process, and so looking forward to kind of beefing up that interest on the campus. And that's all I've got for you today.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. For those of you who don't know me, I'm David May. So the Director of Dining Services, a lot of the pieces for today is kind of refreshing information that's all the good things coming up. So a lot of this information will come out in the campus mail on Friday as well. But Thanksgiving meal, if you're not aware, is next Thursday. So we are taking reservations for that. The cutoff for that is going to be noon on Friday. So if you haven't made your reservation yet, please let us know. If there's adjustments or anything that needs to happen after that, please contact us. And Stacy has been a lifesaver. We'll be open from 11 to 3, but the Social Brew in Tureen will not be open that day. The pie sale begins Monday. So when Market and Craft opens on Monday, the pie sale will begin. So they're available until gone. So if you really want a pie, we encourage you to get there as early as you can, and we will sell those until they run out. So they're all $20 each because I like to do things in set amounts because it's less confusing for me. So hopefully it's easier for you. But we'll have pumpkin pie, Dutch apple pie, and pecan pie available. Again, that's starting on Monday. Moving into Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, slightly different than last year, just a little bit longer. So from 11 to 5, we'll do our big Christmas Eve meal, and that's in the same Market and Craft space that'll overflow into Tureen. The menus will be coming out this Friday in the campus mailer, so be on the lookout for that. We'll have the reservations starting on Monday at 9 o'clock. So we tried to get the Thanksgiving reservations in line before we started the Christmas Eve. So that is coming quickly upon us. The reservations will close on December 19th at noon. And then the Social Brew, We'll get a menu out for that. A little bit later, we're going to do some light bites and some snacks and have that open on Christmas Eve from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. as well, depending on what your schedule is, just to have a little bit of variety in there. Tureen will be closed that evening. And then the Christmas cake sale. So we have the Thanksgiving pie sale, and then we'll have the Christmas cake sale. So the same kind of format, the Monday before Christmas Eve and Christmas that week, we will start the cake sale. So those are $25 each until gone, and we'll have eggnog cheesecake and a flourless chocolate cake. So again, first come, first serve on that piece. And then the Christmas Eve, we call it the Christmas Eve take and bake. And so Christmas independent living will not be open as far as dining-led pieces. We are working on some pieces from the dining committee as far as a resident-led Christmas gathering piece, and so those details are being worked on and will come out as quick as possible. But there will be a Christmas Eve take and bake, and so that menu will be coming out on Friday as well in the campus mailer. All that information will be available online as well. Those reservations open up on the same day as the Christmas Eve reservations. What's important to note is those close a little earlier than Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, the reservations close down on the 19th. These reservations close down on the 10th, and it's just because some of the preparation and the ordering that's a little bit more unique than Christmas Eve, because we're working on a new structure to be able to get those meals out and have 3 different times to pick it up, so everybody's not trying to get everything all at once while we're open. So just kind of be aware of those pieces that are coming up. Christopher talked about the Christmas social, so that is December 16th. We are finalizing the exact times for that piece, but we will be putting out some light bites as well and having a little bit of fun with our culinary team and front of the house team to provide some offerings before the entertainment or the what is it, the Smoky Mountains? See, I don't even know why I'm up here. So anyway, that's coming. We're excited about that piece, and we'll release some more information on that. So the newsletter 2 weeks from Friday will have more information about that. Some other updates for you. So the soups at Market and Craft, I think for about a month after I took them off, nobody liked me for a little while. So the soups are on the community app. They're also listed at the Market and Craft area now for a week, so that way you can see those pieces. Some leadership updates to make sure that everybody's aware of. I think I've shared it across the board, but Shay Adams is no longer with us, as well as Freya Fox Stevenson. And then I think I put Anita Elliott to work, but Anita Elliott is our new Assistant Director of Dining. And so that position is to help me, but also kind of be an extension of somebody that can help with a lot of our training efforts across all 3 levels of care, somebody that can help with some of our programming and work with life enrichment, and then somebody, at least for now, that's going to be helping fill in the hospitality manager role until we actually fill that spot. So if you see Anita Elliott around, please welcome her, and we're excited to have her on board. And then for 2026, we are working on a lot of pieces. So I appreciate all the feedback in the kiosks. Please keep it coming. We will update you next month with some of the pieces that we are doing. But there's a lot of work going into everything you can see here. So 2026 menus, yes, that's the next round of menus. I'm trying to actually work my way into Christmas and New Year's of next year, a little bit ahead of schedule so we can get ahead of some of those pieces. But we're also doing some different programming and pieces to maybe have some specialty dinners and have a little bit of fun in there as well. So I will release those details as we can get those out to you. Some of the other pieces, because everybody wants to know what are we working on. I didn't bring any of the graphics. So Josh, I'm sorry, wherever you went, I didn't bring graphics today either. But some of the pieces I know that we have run out of food at Market and Craft later into the evenings, and so we're working on not running out of food. And some of the consistency of our offerings, I appreciate that we've gotten a lot of great feedback. My goal is to continue making things as consistent as possible. So from menu to menu, you're getting the same pieces, or from dish to dish, if you're going to Tureen or Social Brew, that you're getting the same offerings across the board. So we're working on that. And then the other piece that some of you have heard me talk about is we are still working on a lot of the foundational pieces, which is a big part of why Anita will be joining us. So all the training and the processes and the systems we're digging deep into those to really get the foundational piece of dining where we need it to be so we can have some more fun. So with that being said, I believe we're moving on to the fun financials. I like financials. I'm not going to share to you financials. I'm going to let Dave show those and share those, but I appreciate your time and thank you. And just the left and right button.
Okay. Does it have a pointer? All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Carestis. I'm the controller here at Givens Estates. And this year we have a tag team presentation, so I'm going to do part of it. And then Cherie Grisso, our new VP of Finance and Operations, or Finance, as we like to say nowadays, will be doing the second part. So twice a year, we're here. I know it's everyone's favorite meeting, so this is our second time of the year. The agenda, I'm going to talk about financials as of September 30th, and then I'm going to talk about the 2026 budgets. And then Cherie's going to come up and talk about Givens structure and the impact of the affiliation with Aldersgate. And then she's going to talk about Givens communities shared services. Man. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. My bad. So, update financials as of September 30th. So I know these numbers are hard to read. We're going to share slides. But if you're looking at the bottom line, we are ahead of target, and this is our operating performance. So this is the main thing that we like to measure because it's the main revenues and expenses that our groups can control. So these are the things that we really like to talk about and share. So on the revenue side, we are about $1.3 million over budget. And the primary driver of that is related to realized gains on investments. So the stock market has been up this year. So those are actually stock market gains that we've actually realized and kept those gains. If you talk about other revenues, revenues for independent living, monthly service fees, and amortization of entrance fees, and monthly service fees in Wall and the Health Center, those are slightly behind budget. I'm talking like 1% off of budget. So we're really close. Wall and the Health Center are having a really good year. The census has been really strong in those areas. Census is really strong on the independent living side too. But the master plan moves got a little bit ahead of schedule, or at least what we originally thought of when we were preparing the 2025 budget. And entrance fee turnover is typically a big windfall. So as folks move out of the community, we recognize income when folks turn over on their homes. And we've had like a record number of 90% and 50% refundable contracts. So it's just been an odd year in that case. And that it's also playing into our expenses are over budget, and one of the main drivers there is the remarketing expenses. And these are remarketing expenses, so it's the renovation costs of when somebody leaves a home and somebody new moves into that home, we're renovating that home and getting it ready for the new resident. Those costs have just been extraordinarily high this year compared to prior years. We've had a number of residents that have been here in like the 20-year range that have turned over. It's just been an odd year. Like a lot of things are hitting at once. So we're saying, let's just get it all out of the way this year, and next year is just going to be fantastic. So we have also on the expense side, our health insurance claims are through the roof. It's just been a bad year for that. We are self-insured, so it means that we don't contract out with like a Blue Cross Blue Shield. We manage the health insurance claims with a partner that helps us do that. So over the long term, we're generally going to win, and we have been winning. And if you were to, Christian shared this information with the Finance Committee when we were reviewing the budget with them. For the past 5 or 6 years, our health insurance costs have pretty much been flat. And then this year, they've just been dramatically high. It's just been a rough year for health insurance claims. But all in all, we're having a decent year for our operating performance. These numbers do not consider the affiliation with Aldersgate, which Cherie's going to talk a little bit about later, so that those numbers are below our operating performance line. All right, this slide is showing our days cash on hand for the past 5 years. I thought maybe it had a pointer, but maybe it doesn't. It doesn't. So this is showing our days cash on hand for the past 5 years. And what this ratio is saying, if we were to stop collecting money today, how long can we go paying all of our bills? And there's been a steady increase over the past years. The number as of September 30th, 2005 is 762 days. So we can pay our bills for over 2 years without collecting another dime. So very strong performance. We're very fortunate to be at a facility with this strong performance. There was a dip in 2024 that was related to Helene. So just the way the calculation was, that we had a lot of Helene expenses in that year's calculation. Okay, moving on to the 2026 budget. I can't take credit for this slide. This originally came from Alan. I just have a different picture up here. It was also requested by Money Matters. I forgot to mention, we met with Money Matters this morning, and they previewed the slides and gave us some feedback. So I give the credit to those folks. Oh, I don't even know what. This happened last time too. I'm so sorry. I swear I just pressed the button once. All right. Okay, rate increases. Rate increase letters went out. Everyone should have gotten their letter. The increase this year was 4.25% for independent living, is 5% for Wall, and 5.5% in the health center. Also, the meal allowance, which wasn't in the letter, is $319, or it will be for 2026. In the letter, we typically send out a rate sheet of ancillary rates like transportation, beauty shop, et cetera. We're working on that, and we're going to get that out by the end of the month. So that is coming. So sorry for the delay on that. All right, this slide is showing what was our increase over the past 5 years. The Givens Estates line is in blue, and we're comparing to, we get some information from Ziegler. So earlier this year, Tommy Brewer from Ziegler came and gave a presentation to the residents. And Ziegler is an investment banking firm in our industry, and they collect lots of data. So they sent out a survey every year of what the average increase is for our other retirement communities. So we've been kind of in line with those over the past 5 years, and actually the past 2 years we've actually been under the average of our peers. So in 2026 they're estimating that the average increase would be around 4.7, and this year we're at 4.25. Okay, moving on. Major assumptions in the 2026 Givens Estates operating budget. You know, the standard wage increase is going to be 3%. There are several departments that will have market rate adjustments. We do that every year, that we look at. Our HR team does a really good job of making sure that our team members are fairly compensated. So there's typically some groups on campus that get some adjustments to make sure that we're being competitive in the marketplace. Our FTEs are roughly flat. Our campus we've been in existence for a fairly long time, so we're a very stable organization. So there's only 0.79 FTEs on this campus for the Givens Estates budget. The nursing, the health center is getting a little bit of extra help, which is needed up there, which is normal. I think that's, you know, again, we're a well-established campus. The health insurance costs that I was talking about earlier have gone up dramatically. So next year they're looking at an increase of roughly 19%, which is a tough one to fit into the budget, but we were able to accommodate that. But I will say that our HR team worked really, really hard in trying to offset those costs and provide some additional benefits to our employees. So we're going to implement a new high deductible plan that should be beneficial to our employees. And then there's another program called FedLogic. Those are two new benefits that we're offering to our employees to help with the rising costs. Property insurance costs are going up over 40%. They're going up all over the country. We had our disaster last year in Helene. There, you see that's kind of stuff all over the country. So that's been a trend, particularly in our industry, for the past several years. So we would have expecting increases, high increases anyway, but they've really spiked with Helene that hit our area. And then another major change for 2026 is that the remarketing or those renovation costs that I was talking about earlier, in the past, we've had those as part of the operating budget. And starting in 2026, we're going to start capitalizing those costs. And then they will run through the income statement in the form of depreciation. And that's actually a change from the affiliation with Aldersgate. Aldersgate capitalizes those costs, and so do some of our peer organizations. So that was one of the positive effects from affiliating with Aldersgate already. FTE is a full-time equivalent. Thank you. Okay, this slide is showing where does your money go? And so here's a pie chart that's shown a lot of different places. The biggest number on there is something called depreciation, and depreciation is a non-cash expense for when we build a building. We pay all that money up front, and then we expense that over 40 years. So as there's a lot of buildings on campus, this is a really big campus, so it's not surprising that that's one of the biggest expenses in our budget. Now beyond that, our next biggest expense is the health center. Not surprising. I mean, it's a big health center. We're operating 60 beds now. The second biggest cost after that is the dining department. That's a major cost on campus. Next would be maintenance. And that maintenance number actually shrunk a little bit, and it shrunk because we removed those remarketing costs from their budget and are putting them in the capital budget. But still the third biggest expense on campus. And then next we have utilities. And utilities would be electric, gas, water, cable, internet, phone bills, et cetera. And then the fifth largest one is housekeeping. So we have a really big environmental services department. And then and the management fee, thank you. So I showed this as a similar chart back in May. I'm sure everyone remembers. And I'm happy to say that the management fee actually shrunk a little bit. And so did the admin bucket. And Shree's going to talk a little bit more in detail about the management fee. And this is showing the 2026 budget in comparison to the 2025 budget. And so broadly speaking, the big takeaway is, operating income is roughly $12,900,000, almost 13. In 2025, it was $12.5 million. So steady, strong performance is one takeaway. And then the other thing I have highlighted, which is the management fee. And that shows that it's going down by $236,000. And it's going down because of the affiliation with Aldersgate. So Aldersgate, so when we talk about the management fee, there are shared services. So using the finance department as an example, we're funded by the different communities that Givens has. So Givens Estates is paying a share, Highland Farms is paying a share, and now Aldersgate is paying a share. So, and because of that, and because of the size of Aldersgate, the share that Givens Estates is paying is actually decreasing. So. And lastly, we have the capital budget for 2026 at $2.6 million. In that $2.6 million is roughly $900,000 of those remarketing or renovation costs for the turnover that we're expecting on this campus, which leaves about $1.7 million. That's a little higher than what we've had in the past for a capital budget on this campus. And then I'll add two other points. we are implementing a fixed asset or a capital management system. So we're hiring an outside group to come in and inventory all of the capital items and needs on the campus. So we're being much more strategic with how we're going to spend our capital dollars on this campus. But in order to do that, that's a very lengthy, time-involved process. So that has not yet happened, so we need to allow that to happen. And secondly, future capital needs are also going to be somewhat dependent and based on whatever happens with the master plan. So once the master plan has shaped and rolled out, and once we've had this capital assessment done, then we can take those two pieces of information and provide a more strategic outlook for our capital needs on this campus. And I would venture to say that we'll see bigger investment back in this campus going forward. And now I'm going to turn it over to Cherie Grisso, again, who is our VP of Finance and Operations.
Hello, everyone. I am Cherie Grisso. I did try to walk around a little bit and meet some folks before we got started, but I am the VP of Financial Operations since September, so I've only been here for a couple of months. I did join the Givens Aldersgate team back in July of 23, and my background has been in really fixing companies, and a lot of times that does lead to things like what happened here, which is mergers, affiliations, those types of structures that actually help organizations get healthier faster. And so that's kind of what my background is. And I have the benefit of working with Dave. I made sure he came up here first and threw him in front of the bus about rate increases, and y'all let him way off the hook. So hopefully you'll be equally nice to me. A fun fact. I am probably the 6th or 7th CPA of the group, right, of this executive team. That's not that exciting. So love that fact about myself. I'm not proud of that. I steal Kevin's thunder on that all the time. I'm a recovering CPA, but that's kind of my background. But I really do love joining organizations that are looking to improve. And so the benefit of my role is going to be to help integrate the financial operations and really set up a structure and a framework that is going to help as Givens grows. There's a lot of different organizations under this very complicated Givens community structure. And we're not showing you the org chart because it looks like just a lot of boxes and a lot of little names on the page. But we did want to give you an overview of what some of those entities are so that you understand the complexity of this business that Givens Communities supports. And I am going to talk a little bit more about that. So Givens has an obligated group, which is, what does that mean? It's really the group that is responsible for the debt that Givens has on its financial statements. And so those entities that are part of that are Givens Estates, Givens Highland Farms, and Givens Gerber Park 2. And so those entities are the ones that are part of the Givens obligated group. Also in the financial statements of Givens Communities, there are 4 other entities, and they're just not part of the obligated group. And those are Givens Communities, Givens Choice, Givens Aldersgate, and Life Ministries. And that'll be relevant because I'm going to talk about those organizations a little bit more in just a second. Givens Affordable Communities is a separate entity that also has its own financial statements, so they are not included in the financial statements. So everything Dave went over today was focused on Givens Estates, right? Your community here in this campus. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rest of the picture, just to make sure you have a good understanding of how Givens Estates fits into that. So I did want to have the benefit of sharing, I guess, some of the details that Kevin has informed everybody about the affiliation with Aldersgate, of sharing a little bit more of that structure behind that transaction with you. And so the affiliation investment that Givens made into Aldersgate was $20.5 million. And that came in 2 different tranches, actually 3 technically. But $14 million has already been paid to Aldersgate, and there will be another $6.5 million that will be paid next year. That investment, I know, sounds like a lot when we think about our own personal budgets, right? I can't even fathom $20.5 million. But in the framework of the full Givens communities, it really is a small percentage, and I know that's what Kevin has helped focus on in the past. But the benefit that has come to all of the Givens structure is now you have another $150+ million of assets that are added into the communities. And a big piece of that is that we were able to, through this affiliation, restate the market values of the 80-year-old Aldersgate campus assets to current market value. And that allowed us to increase those assets by $51 million. So that right away, there's a return on that $20 million investment, right? Pretty big, significant return. So again, that $150 million of Aldersgate assets are now part of the Givens Communities portfolio. So that's a pretty significant increase and improvement. I know you probably can't read all the bullets, all the details on this slide, but of the Givens entities that are part of the financial statements of Givens Estates, Inc., that are some of which are in the obligated group and some of which are not, the big takeaway I want you to understand from this slide is that historically, and Dave just touched on this, Givens Estates has really carried the burden of the management fees. And really now, because they're based on a percentage of revenue, Aldersgate has such a significant size in their healthcare business that it is going to have the bigger share of that management fee, and we'll talk about that in a second. Aldersgate is not budgeted to be profitable next year. It is break even. We're very optimistic. We got great operational assessment report back from Plant Moran that's sharing some opportunities for $4 to $6 million of either revenue enhancements or additional cost savings. So very, very optimistic that that will continue to improve over the next few years. And I know Alan and I are working on 5-year forecast right now that will share what that pattern is going to be. I can promise you there's going to be an expectation for upside for Aldersgate. And you can really see that in Givens Highland Farms. If you've lived here for a while and you've seen the presentations that have included Givens Highland Farms financial information, you should know that they also had originally were losing money and then gradually started building and making more money, contributing to the net income of the communities. So Givens Estates is still, as mentioned before, just very stable and solid and profitable. And I assure you that the other life plan communities, that's the objective and goal, is they're going to continue to contribute positively towards that net income. Givens Gerber Park is slated to also have a slight profitability next year, as well as Givens Choice, which is very, very positive that they're contributing to. And Life Ministries obviously is an investment in the outreach programs that we make. So the management fees, which is a sizable chunk of the budget that was approved, are almost $18 million. And as I just said, Givens Estates, as a percentage of the total, is 37.38% of who's contributing to that management fee, whereas Aldersgate on the far right is 39.34%. That's a difference of $5.9 million is what Givens Estates is paying, $6.7 million is what Givens Aldersgate is paying into this total. I think the largest expense in there is the health insurance that we just talked about. That is paid for, the benefits for all of the employees are paid for in the corporate, which is a big piece of that management fee expense. The big takeaway, I think, here, as Dave mentioned, last year, the Givens Estates percentage of the total management fee was 2/3 approximately of that management fee. The expectation is, as growth occurs and as others become more profitable, maybe there's other life plan communities that get added into the fold of the Givens portfolio. The share that Givens Estates pays will continue to go down over time, right, of those management fees. And the management fees will get, the point is they get spread out over more entities, and they shouldn't have to increase as much as they are increasing at this initial growth period. So they should kind of start stabilizing over time. I know the slide, so what do you get for that money, for the percentage that you pay towards the management fees? There's some big buckets up here. I know we referenced those before, but and you can't read all the little words on the screen. The slides will be available to you. But the executive leadership, obviously the governance relationship with our board of directors, setting that strategic plan, the vision, the direction, all the master site planning before projects become capitalized and financed, All that goes into the executive bucket. We have human resources, all the strategy, the benefits and compensation strategies, as well as all of our performance management, talent development, really growing and investing in our team members across all the employees. We have just a lot of work that goes into all these shared services, the fun ops team, and then information technology and sales and marketing and philanthropy or outreach. So all of those are part of your management fee benefits. These are all the things that every community or every one of these entities is getting in return for that management fee investment. Whoops, one too fast. Oh no. Oh no, I did it too. I went the wrong direction. Someone's gonna help me get it back. Sorry. Well, I can probably speak to it without the slide coming up. One of the big things as a resident that I know we always want to make sure you understand and take away from these kinds of financial conversations is, what does all this mean? I just talked to you about a lot of other entities that are being supported, and what does that mean to a Givens Estate residents? Ultimately, these costs that are kind of the corporate costs that are shared across will get smaller, right? You should see a decrease in your expenses because of that, which ultimately impacts rates. Thank you. And I can assure you that the intention is that Givens Estates is not subsidizing other entities. Every one of these entities that we just talked about should be self-sustaining, with the exception of Life Ministries, which is an investment that a mission-based investment we want to continue to support. The collaboration that's coming from the growth between different communities, and I'm going to speak specifically to life plan communities, will create efficiencies, but it will also raise the bar of your services. My experience in doing this with other communities that grow like this is your service levels continue to get better and better and better. Your costs don't go up incrementally the same way because, again, they're getting shared and spread across. And everybody's challenging and sharing ideas to make each community step up. And then the investment here in your own campus, that capital investment, which again this year is already planned to be larger than it has been in recent years, is also going to continue to go up. You're going to see more and more investment in this campus. And of course, that's aligned with the master site planning that's underway. There's a lot of activity going on related to that, and we wish we had all of that to share. But at least while we're waiting for those results to come in, and the construction costs, I think, are kind of crazy right now. So I know Alan's working pretty hard with Scott and others to try to navigate that and figure out what is affordable and the right numbers to invest in each campus. But that is going to do nothing but plan for further investment here. I can assure you that that is the intention. So that's what all this means to you as a Givens resident. And I'm super excited to be leading the finance team. If you have any questions for me or Dave about all this, please let me know. Any questions? All right, thanks.
We have a couple folks can run around with, I know we're right at time and people of course want cake and wine, but does anybody have any questions for Dave or Cherie?
Sold.
Sold. Fantastic. Well, we do in the. So the question is, can we get some copies of the slides? Yes. So besides minutes from campus gathering that Levi has been taking, we will make sure that we get the slides out to you. Absolutely. So I think, to me, this has been just, again, a wonderful example of, I think, the transparency and the sharing of the why on things, and really appreciate, again, every department really showcasing to me some of the fantastic work that has been done this year. And I don't know about you, I'm getting really excited for 26. So thank you everybody for your attention. Please enjoy us to celebrate our Marines, have some wine, have some food. We have a different setup to spread out. So thank you, Mr. May and team. And with that, have a fantastic afternoon.